Okay, so last video I didn't really I said two different versions. Like I wasn't really specific on what Izuku's quirk was. I wasn't good at explaining it. So I'm just gonna do it again. Alright, so basically Izuku has all quirks, but he can't just use all quirks. Alright, so he has a limit. He needs to train that limit. And if he loses control, he just starts using all the quirks he currently has. Like he does technically have all of them, but he doesn't just know all of them. So he kind of has to like search for them mentally. So last time I said that, but then I also said like he has to see their face. That's not how I'm doing it. He has all of them connected to him. He just needs to use it, like think of it, and control it. So yeah, I hope y'all understand. If not, I don't know, leave a comment. I'll try to explain it in comments. Now let the video begin.
Alright, so just like a quick recap, I guess. So we started and Izuku, he saw Bakugo get his explosion quirk, and then he unlocked explosion quirk that was strong at the Bakugo's. And then they went to the quirk doctor. The quirk doctor didn't know what was going on, but he looked at his like quirk gene, and it seemed to like be an infinity sign symbol, and he was kind of confused. And then on the car ride home, Inko mentioned that she would love for him to have her telekinesis, but when they got home, Inko had knocked over like some stuff and it was falling, some glass cups or mugs or something. And Izuku used a stronger version of his mother's quirk to not pull but repel all the stuff falling on her. And then they went back to the quirk doctor, and quirk doctor, he really didn't know what was going on. He wanted to do more tests, but she still wouldn't let him do it. So he's just kind of fed up with it. Just wants them to leave. So they leave, and then I did a time skip, and they're in school. And Izuku has a ton more quirks. He does. Like, I'm not gonna tell you all of them, but he has a lot. I'm probably just gonna use them at my discretion. But he decides to go home, and he decides to use a shortcut. I said because it's Ingo's birthday, really doesn't matter. But he takes a shortcut without Bakugo, and the sludge villain there. I'm just gonna pick up from here, I guess, cause yeah. So he makes a dome around him with the earth, cause he has an earth manipulation quirk, and yeah, I'm not gonna go. So he makes a dome around him. He can see in there because he has a night vision quirk. And then, but All Might, he comes in. He punches the sludge villain that's trying to get into the dome, so that he breaks the dome too and sends Deku flying, and he cracks into the wall. All Might's really apologetic and like worried, but Deku has plenty of healing quirks, so he's fine. And he's fanboying. He's like, oh my god. He's not as much as in canon, but he's still a fan. It's the #1 hero. So he asked All Might some questions like, can I be a hero? And All Might asks, what's your quirk? And Deku says, my quirks isn't it called God of Quirks? And he asks, what does it do? And Deku still doesn't, he knows what his quirk does, but like, it's not in the quirk records. Quirk records just say it's a copy quirk, but Deku knows that he has like all the quirks, but he doesn't really want to tell everybody, because obviously that'll make him a target for heroes and villains. Like, he doesn't really want that attention. So he just says it's a really powerful copy quirk, and and it really doesn't have that big of a drawback. I just have to maintain focus, or I'll lose control of all the quirks I've copied. And All Might says that's pretty strong. He can probably become like a top 10 hero. And All Might's pretty happy Deku's pretty happy with this, even though he knows that if All Might thinks he can top 10 with that, he can probably become #1 with the quirk he really has. So, All Might jumps away. Deku doesn't really hold on, because he knows he can become a super strong hero. But, he still drops the sludge villain, because he put it in the bottle still. And he dropped it, because, let's say, he's just clumsy. He just accidentally drops it. And, yeah, Bakugo still kicks it. Bakugo still gets attacked by the sludge villain. And when Deku sees the explosions, he sees the smoke and hears the explosions, and he knows it's Bakugo. He just has, he has that sensing quirk. It's pretty overpowered. I'm not gonna lie. He can sense in like 3-mile radius. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, but he can sense. Let's just say he used multiple sensing quirks to like survey the area and can tell that, yeah, that sounds like Bakugo, and like, oh wait, yeah, he has a connection to Bakugo's quirk, therefore him, so he can sense that Bakugo's in trouble. He sees the smoke and hears the explosions. He's like, yeah, that's Bakugo. So he heads over there, and the hero still he gets over there. He has a speed quirk. No, actually, that's how he jumps over there. And he jumps over there. He runs by All Might. Not even know it, because he's in his small form, and All Might's kind of freaking out because he doesn't. Actually, no, because he remembers that kid. He's kind of wanting to see what'll happen. The heroes try to stop him, but Deku just dodge and weaves. I mean, he ran by him in cannon, so they're not gonna be able to stop him now. So instead of like just running in there though, he has a plan. So he uses that earthman. He uses his fire breathing, and he shoots at the sludge villain, and it affects him because like he's sludge and it's hot fire. So I'd say it does hurt, yeah. And he sees the eyes, and he punches the eyes hard. He has a strength quirk, not as strong as All Might's, because he doesn't want to use All Might's quirk. Actually, let's say he can't use All Might's quirk, just because the other users, his quirk has more of a conscious. So they're like his quirk has a conscious, and that's the past users, and it's just he can't get past that barrier. I mean, he could if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to interfere because he doesn't really know what's going on with All Might's quirk. He doesn't want to break it or ruin it or do something wrong, so he ignores it. And then he freezes it. After he grabs Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, I don't need your help, stupid Deku. Wait, I said they're friends. But I'm terrible at this. Let's say he still says, I don't need your help, Deku. Deku is just kind of his nickname now. But, they're friends, but he doesn't want his help because he thinks he's strong enough to handle it. And he knows Izuku's stronger, but he wants to prove that he is strong. But Deku doesn't care. He pulls him out and then uses an ice quirk to freeze him. Freeze the sludge villain. So, I mean, the heroes get onto him like, hey, you don't have a license, don't do that. But also, like, good job. You did a really good job. If you want to, you can come to my agency in the future because, you're really cut out to be a good hero. And they're like, thank you. Bakugo is still kind of mad. He's like, dude, I didn't need your help, Deku. And then Izuku's like, just shut up. Let's go. It's Ingo's birthday. Let's go celebrate together. Bakugo's like, all right. So, yeah, Bakugo and Deku go, and they celebrate Ingo's birthday, because I had said that, kind of have to follow that, I guess. And then, they train, let's see. Now, after the party's over, let's say the next day, Izuku's just walking around, and All Might just lands in front of him, and it's like, young Midoriya, because he knows his name at this point. He knows his name. Izuku told him his name earlier. So, he tells him the stuff, like Izuku lets him tell him everything, and then asks him if he wants to be his successor. Izuku's just like, no. And I'm like, what? And then Izuku's like, I could probably even have your quirk, even without you giving it to me. I could just like copy it, but I don't really want to, because something's weird with their quirk. And All Might's like, what do you mean, young Midoriya? And Izuku says, well, your quirk has kind of like its own separate consciousness, and that most quirks don't have that. I mean, there obviously are some exceptions, but nowhere near to the extent yours does. It's as if it has a mind and a personality of its own, but it's not like a quirk I've seen before, where this weird shadow creature can come out of the user. It's more subconscious, and it seems like there's multiple consciousness. And All Might immediately thinks, what? Does he know? That's probably the past users. That's kind of, what does he mean? And then All Might's like, wait, I thought your quirk was a copy quirk. Do you mean you can copy all one for all? And he confesses, like, my quirk isn't really a copy quirk. I just said that. I don't want that much attention on me right now. But my quirk really is God of quirks. And I'm almost like, yeah, you said that. I just, it's a really good copy quirk. No. My quirk is called Guard of Quirks, but I'm literally closer to that than you would think. I'm connected to all quirks and therefore all people, except quirkless people, But I'm inclusive. I'm not. I like them, Quirkless people, they're cool. So I'm always like, it's kind of overpowered. You're gonna be a hero, right? Like yeah, I'm going to 1A, UA, class 1A. Yep. Almost like, yeah, I'll be there actually. So wow, that's really an OP quirk. But it can only be stronger with my quirk. I mean, you could be the greatest hero. And Izuku says some wise stuff right now. He's like, I'm already strong. Give it to someone who has a good heart and who deserves to be strong, but isn't quite there and may never be. But with your help, they can be something great. Try to find someone like that. And who knows, maybe we could both become a number one hero. And almost like, what do you mean? Well, you see yourself as a pillar, right? Yeah. Well, what if there was multiple pillars? I mean, what happens when you die? Pillars, I said that. Never mind. And almost like, oh, yeah, you're right. It would be great. If we had multiple pillars, then the backlash of one dying wouldn't be as severe. And Izuku's like, yeah, exactly. So go find someone who's worthy and who has a good heart and is worthy of becoming a hero like you. But I'm almost like, wow, that's some philosophical stuff. Like, you're very wise. Thank you. Bye, young Midori. Izuku's like, yeah, I have a few wisdom quirks, I guess. Intellectual. Very intellectual. So All Might jumps away. And Deku, he doesn't really need to train on much. He trains physically. Like, he's strong. And he has, like, quirks to help him with that. Like, quirks where he gets more for what he does. But he also has strength quirks, so yeah. He works out. Bakugo works out with him. He's training up Bakugo. Bakugo's like 3 times stronger than Canon because Deku's been there. And Deku's subconsciously making Bakugo's quirk stronger. He's not meaning to. It's just that Izuku has connection to all quirks, and since Bakugo's hanging out with him so much, being in so close of quarters with Bakugo's quirk, and having all good intentions for him and wanting him to become stronger, he's just subconsciously strengthening Bakugo's quirk. So he's 3 times stronger than in canon. Izuku's like infinitely stronger than in canon. Not really. He had 1 for all in canon, but he's far stronger than 1 for all, because if he really wanted to, he could have it and all for 1. I mean, but yeah, they train for the 9 months, and then the UA entrance exam. This isn't even funny. So they go. Let's see. They do they? I'm pretty sure they do the like the exam first, like the writing on paper, and then they go to the exam. Izuku, he just uses all of his intellectual quirks along with his speed quirk to just finish it instantly. He hands it in to, let's say, President Mike, and Mike's like, are you serious? Like, you finished it in like a minute? You have to pass. Even if you do a good grade, at the practical exam, if you make a bad grade on this, you won't become a hero. And Zuko's like, grade it. And then he leaves. He goes to wait for the practical exam, and President Mike, he does grade it. He's like, all right, I'll grade this right now, and he is blown away. Zuko got 100% in under a minute. He has to tell Nezu about that, but he still has to like monitor the other students, so he waits. So then we'll go on to the practical exam, and well, not right now, but we're going to do the speech, right? So the speech. Izuku doesn't mutter, but he just still like gets mad at President Mike, saying There's 4 robots. You've only explained 3. What about the one pointer? I hope this is not a mistake on UA's part. This is unacceptable from the top school in Japan. President Mike's like, just shut up, bro. Like, I was just about to get to that. And he's like, sits back down. He's kind of mad. But Zuko, he has nothing to do with that. He wasn't muttering. He's just looking like, man, what an idiot. So we go to the practice exam now, yeah. And Zuko's standing there, and he sees a girl who's nervous, and he thinks about going calm her down. Then he's like, and yeah, I will. I don't know what I was going with that. Yeah, he decides to go over there, but Ida tries to stop him, like, hey, don't go bother that girl. Don't mess with her. And Izuku, he just holds his hand. He just grabs his arm because, Ida's like holding his shoulder right now. And Izuku grabs his wrist and is like, let go of me. And then just like this intent, this murderous intent that only Ida can feel. And Izuku's using like a presence quirk right now to amplify, to like show off his will. But only Ida feels it. It's Ida specifically. And Ida just backs up kind of fearful. And Izuku just walks over to Ochako. He starts talking to Ochako like, hey, what's up? Ochako like, hey, how are you doing? I'm pretty hyped for this practical exam. I'm excited. Ochako's like, yeah, I'm kind of nervous. It's kind of crazy how this decides our future. And, if we fail this, He's like, Jesus, calm down. It's not that serious. And Izuku's like, it is though. And Izuku, he decides to like use that presence quirk I talked about, but he uses a calm aura, right? And he calms Ochako down. And he says, listen, don't think about that right now. Just think about doing the best you can possibly do, and I'm sure you will succeed. I mean, your quirk's 0 gravity, right? That's a really strong quirk. And Ochako's like, yeah, thanks. But wait, how do you know my quirk? And Izuku's like, I have my ways. And then Izuku notices the gates are open. He just starts sprinting off. And then everybody's like, hey, he's cheating. Master Mike didn't say go. President Mike's like, I wasn't gonna say go. I mean, heroes don't wait for a countdown. Go, go, go. So everybody starts sprinting after it. And once they get in there, they just see destruction. And what Izuku did is he is just sprinting through using all kinds of quirk. I mean, they see like a pile of like molten robot, and then like a glacier. No, like not a glacier, but like they see him freeze one robot and then smash it. They see him short circuit one with like a lightning quirk. And they're just amazed, but like they start trying to avoid Deku, like running way past him, trying to see if they can find some. And, well, everybody's going to pass that in canon. Nothing's going to change with that. So, okay, we'll go to the stands. Like, President Mike. President Mike, Nezu, Aizawa, Oh My, they're all in the booth. And Aizawa's like, what is this kid's quirk? It seems like he has so many. I mean, it can't just be one. And then Nezu looks to his quirk, files and says his quirk is God of Quirks. That's interesting. I mean, what it only said, his description says it's a very strong copy quirk. And it's always like, I see. What is its drawbacks? And Nezu says, it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any listed. And Aizawa was interested in the kid. He said, he has a lot of potential. All Might knows, but like Izuku kept it a secret from him to begin with, so he's figuring he doesn't want like everyone to know, so he just keeps it to himself about Deku's quirk. Alright, so and then Nezu's like, yes, and President Mike told me he got 100% on his test in under a minute. And then we'll say Aizawa's like, what? That's impossible. He must have used a quirk to cheat. And then Nezu speaks up and says yes, or perhaps he copied some intellect quirks, and maybe a speed quirk, or I mean, it's certainly possible with the world we live in today. And now all the teachers are interested in Izuku. They're like, this kid seems to be a little bit OP. We need to nurture him into becoming a great hero and not a villain, because that would be very bad. So, how long is it? 19 minutes. This is longer than my other video. We'll keep going though. So now everything's done, and then Izuku's just walking out, and then Aizawa and Principal Nezu, they come over and they just talk to Izuku. They're like, "Hey, Izuku Midoriya," Aizawa says. And Izuku's like, "Hey, you're a Razorhead, what's up?" And Aizawa's kind of shocked that you know me. Izuku's like, "Of course. You're a pro hero. You're a nighttime hero. Quirk is a racer. It's so cool." And then Aizawa's like, it's good, but I'm basically quirkless other than that. But at least I can make other people quirkless, kind of level the playing field. Which he's kind of joking. Izuku laughs a little bit. He says, "Yeah." And then Nezu's like, "Izuku, you made 100% on that exam, and you certainly passed the practical. I mean, you had 230. Oh, I skipped the part where he saves Araka. Let's say Araka didn't even get in trouble. Like, Izuku, he saw the 0-pointer come out. He just destroyed that instantly. So he didn't even get the chance to trap Ochako. So she's fine. Anyway, back to what I was saying. He's like, "Izuku, you made 100% on the exam, and you had 250 hero points in the practical. So you have gotten into UA, top of your class." Izuku was happy about that, but he kind of expected it. I mean, with his overpowered quirk. So he goes home. He's pretty happy, you know. Nezu went ahead and gave him his acceptance letter. So he goes home. He shares it with his Inko. Inko is so proud. So they have a little party. I'm pretty sure Izuku's favorite food is kitsudon. So Inko makes that, and they have a great day. And that's where I'm going to end it. So, bye. Subscribe to King Totem.